Hello, welcome to this new episode of the Alex Show TV. It's episode 360 from September the 30th of the year 2024. Today is a Monday. And today I want to share on this short Monday episode a review of my trip to Sedona, Arizona. This is a lifelong dream. I really felt connected to Sedona for a while now, many years since my childhood. I've known about Sedona for a while now. And fortunately, the universe, I think sometimes the times of the universe, the process of the universe are perfect, and without looking for it, without planning it, uh, another couple, a very good friend of my wife and I, planned it on their own. And once we heard of it, we decided to join the trip, and it happened mid-September, around 15 days ago. The main purpose of the trip, I'm going to share it in a few minutes, was to go to the Bashar event out there in Sedona, September 14th and 15th. Well, we made a nice 5-day trip to visit Sedona. My friends went daily on hiking to the vortexes and that. My wife and I, she did it a little bit. I honestly, it's not my thing, so I didn't join on those. But it's a very nice city to visit. Of course, if you're interested in something out there beyond the physicality of this world, beyond this dense three-dimensional reality, you're really going to enjoy it. You're really going to enjoy it. But even if you don't, it's a very nice city to visit. Of course, it's very difficult to do a trip, for example, from outside the United States or from Europe or something like that, just to visit Sedona. Of course, you can visit many cities, Las Vegas, California, and then make it Phoenix, even it's very close to Sedona, and you can make it a different trip. The Grand Canyon is not far from there. It's technically not part of the Grand Canyon, but it's very, very close. It's a short drive, talking 2-3 hours. So you can mix those things up. The city itself is quite small, and the energy and the vibe is great. I enjoyed that very much. I really felt very special energy there. I think there's something going on. There's this school of thought that there are very big crystals buried there from extraterrestrials, from other civilizations that came a long time ago. And that's why also very close to Sedona or in that area is what you might have heard of the Hopi, the Hopi tribe. And if you listen to some of the things that the Hopis have to say, it aligns very much with Pleiadians and all that. And this message of self-discovery, of love, of discovering your own power, basically the same message I try to send. It's maybe there are technicalities there, but it's basically the same message. That it's all about you. It's all about your inner power. It's all about you discovering your spirit. It's all about you discovering who you are. So I think it's not a coincidence that the Hopis are there, and so there's this enigma, this special energy in this area. A lot of beautiful red mountains, like you see in the screen right now. So if you're close to Sedona and you haven't done it, I'm talking in the United States, Texas, something like that, which is even driving distance, I would strongly suggest you plan a trip there. We actually had to fly to Phoenix, which is like a 2.5 hour fly from our city, Monterrey, Mexico. And then we rented a car and we drove around 2 hours. Very nice drive, everything very relaxing, very calm, nothing to stress about. And again, the city itself is very relaxing and it winds down. If you are into a party scene or something like that, Sedona is not your place, because really at night everything winds down. It's more about, meditating, feeling this energy, going to the vortexes, which there are several of them, and of course other things. One of the activities we done, which I'm gonna do a spin-off show, was one of the nights we went on a UFO tour. I think it merits its own show, really to share with you what we saw. So I'm gonna go right ahead. This is a video I got from the internet, but what you're gonna see in a few seconds is basically what we saw physically through night goggles, okay? You don't see anything with your plain sight. Night goggles will increase 20,000 times the light. So there's a lot of activity going on there. They take you really outside Sedona, but I'm talking a few miles outside Sedona, not that much. It's really a short drive, and you're able to see what you're going to see in a few seconds. So let's watch it together. There's no audio on this video, so I'm going to kind of talk over it. And of course, the initial reaction will say, hey, we're talking about possibly stars or meteors or man-made planes, helicopters, all of that. All of that is explained to you in the tour. Whatever is flashing is probably man-made. It also explains to you that a single flashing, if I remember correctly, it's a commercial plane. Double flashing is, I think it's a private plane. Again, I'm trying to remember by memory. And the one I remember certainly triple flashing, that means flashing, 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 and then a stop, and then flashing, 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 and a stop. That's military, okay? So you will see a lot of triple flashing helicopters, obviously military, a lot of military activity going on, but you will also see a lot of unexplainable things. The video doesn't make justice to what I saw with my own eyes through the night goggles, that you are able to see crafts that go at speeds that they are not from this world, and some of them start becoming so bright and then they disappear. So it's definitely not, you're not going to see a structure. The lady that took us on the tour, that I'm going to talk about her more in the spin-off show that is coming out in a week, next Monday, will explain that to you, that you're in a very low percentage of the shows, of the tours, you're going to watch a structured craft. But more on that next Monday. I just wanted to share. Another reason, as I shared, the main reason was to go to the Bashar event. Bashar is right there on your screen right now if you don't know about him. His name is Daryl Anka. Daryl Anka is the human being that channels this extraterrestrial being called Bashar. Bashar is a nickname, is not really the real name of the extraterrestrial being. I felt it was a 2-day event, very similar the first day to the second. Basically, there's a channeling going on. Daryl prepares himself for the channel a few seconds or minutes, and then the channel starts and you're listening to Bashar, to an extraterrestrial being. Again, you can decide to believe or not. I'm just sharing what the event is. And then after like 45 minutes of an hour of hearing Bashar, there's questions, which is, in my opinion, the interesting part of the show. Some questions were on the shallow side, like, hey, I'm going to find the love of my life. Hey, why doesn't anyone like me? There were a couple of ones that they were really, for me, they were really, we always want with the stuff on really wanting to know the future, stuff like that, with miracles. I shared quite a few times that we usually go with that. But in a way, some of the questions were pretty good and the answers were pretty surprising, some of them. I'm gonna do a spin-off show on this Friday on Bashar, so I'm really gonna save most of my opinion to that one. Again, this is just a general show on my trip to Sedona and the few things I made there. The experience was nice. I think it's a commercial event, so that's the way you can fill up. I think it was 700 of us in an auditorium. Very, in my opinion, a little bit pricey. Around $425 for the cheap seats. It is what it is. It is an event certainly up there as far as an experience for me, but I do feel the event is commercialized and it's funny and it's fun and it's something entertaining. So first of all, it's a couple of hours, 3 hours. So if it was really, really kind of on more serious side, I think a lot of people wouldn't like it, and so I can understand. I have never critiqued people like Daryl that basically make a living out of this. I share many times. I would love to do it. 1 second, please. Apology, I got an interruption, but I'm back. So as I was sharing, I felt the event was a little bit on the commercial side. Also, a point I'm going to expand on Friday's show exclusively on Bashar. My experience with it is that when you go, it's not very clear who Bashar is channeling as far as a civilization, a species. But when you go and look on Bashar's video, it's very clear. I mean, he doesn't hide it. I'm not talking about Daryl. When you are watching in a channeling, everything is the being. Really, Daryl is just the vessel, okay? So it's not Daryl's opinion or information. It's actually the being, if you believe in it, of course. That you're talking to what is called a gray. Again, that could be a little bit worrisome on the worrisome side. I don't find it that way because the message is quite nice. The message is, again, similar to Hopi, similar to Pleiadian, that you really have to discover who you are. You have to tap into that inner force. You are the creator of your reality. You are a co-creator. and that you have a lot to do with everything that is going on, especially with your life, which I love it. That I love it. For me, a red flag with channelings, with dealing with extraterrestrial beings, with dealing with guides, with dealing with angels. For me, a red flag, especially when the message is different, is belligerent, is fight, is violence. When the message, there are contracts involved, or they ask you to kind of make commitments. When it's a symbiotic relationship, that means that there's I give you, you give me, I give you information, you give me your energy, you give me, I don't know, you make a sacrifice for me. All of those for me are red flags. That's why when some people are into witchery and, and witches and stuff like that, and, these kind of things of voodoo and stuff like that, I always said to them, I will be wary of that. When there's a request to do something, these beings don't ask anything. They just give the information they are allowed to give. Again, there are laws to be respected, not human laws, not earth laws, but universal laws, particularly the law of not interference. They cannot fix things for us. They can try to help and aid as much as they can, but we humans are the ones that need to take responsibility and fix this mess. So I did see that. I did see a lot of respect for that. I was a little bit surprised on one question. I'm going to expand on that on Friday. When asked about the US presidential election, which is coming up in a few weeks, I was surprised. Again, I'm not a Trump fan. I'm basically not into politics at all. But I was surprised that basically he said that Kamala Harris will open up this process of kind of intervention of good aliens and stuff like that, and that Donald Trump will lead to, his words, will lead to I believe he used the word disappearance of the United States. I don't remember, I think it was the word, but basically the United States will dissolve under Donald Trump and World War III, which is very troublesome for sure. Again, it is what it is. I was surprised about that, honestly. I think it was best if nothing was said at all. I think I felt a little bit interference in that response, that it was too much, even if it's true information, which I don't agree. Doesn't feel that way to me, doesn't resonate that way to me, but I felt it was a little bit too much. So finally, great place, Sedona. You have thought about it. For me, go for it. If you have the financial possibility to go there, we are out there in California. Certainly driving distance, I don't know, 7-8 hours, something like that. You're out there in Vegas, certainly quite close, I believe something like 4 hours. So maybe a short plane ride in the US or from Canada or something like that. I want to end this because I'm going to do again the spin-off shows on Bashar, on the UFO trip. That's great. But on this one, I want to say something that for me is very important. I have the luck and the opportunity to be in places like Stonehenge, like the pyramids out there in Egypt, like the pyramids out there in Mexico. You feel energy, okay? You feel energy, but I never felt the type of energy, because energy is not only the volume of energy, but the resonance with you, okay? So Stonehenge, yeah, I felt energy, but I didn't necessarily felt it was my energy, okay? My type of energy. Certainly the pyramids, depends on the pyramid. I think some pyramids are from some civilizations. In one particular pyramid in Mexico, in the town of Cholula, which is a very well-known pyramid, I believe it was one of the biggest in the world. On that one, I felt ill and actually had a medical problem after that fact. I went inside the pyramid against basically my will. I fell for the pressure of the group of saying everyone is going in, you're the only one that's not gone. So I decided to go. And then I had a blood clot the day after. So I'm totally sure it had to do. And I felt horrible inside, horrible energy, horrible. It was not my energy. Does it mean it's bad? No, it's just not my resonance of energy, okay? On Sedona, I could feel the energy all around. And when we went close to the vortexes, I could feel it ramping up. So it could happen to you that you go to Sedona and you feel the effect I felt on the pyramid. Yes. Is it something bad? Are you bad? No, not at all. Again, I'm trying to say that I align with, I believe, the civilizations of aliens that a long time ago, for sure, chose this place. And they made their pyramids, but they are not as obvious as the ones in Mexico, as the ones in Egypt, as the ones all around the world. they actually buried crystals, some say as big as 300 meters, 900 feet of height, and they are buried out there. And if you believe in the story of the Flash, in the story that there's going to be, that the new world is going to come in a flash, in an event, some say it's going to come in years, in tens of years, in hundreds of years, a little bit more diluted. Some say it's going to be something like one morning, it's going to be like that. The ones that believe that, they claim that these crystals will prop up from the ground on all its height and will send this benevolent energy throughout the world and increase the vibration. Okay? You can increase the vibration through crystals, for sure. I shared many times that you don't really need anything. You can increase your own vibration on your own. But certainly this kind of stuff helps. And I believe the energy you feel in Sedona comes from these buried crystals that they're emanating this benevolent resonating energy. Again, you don't feel it, or if you feel ill, doesn't mean anything. Okay, it's just that we are all different, and for some reason, some align to it and some don't. Some people might go to the pyramid I had a problem with, and they can feel great. It's because the resonance is like that. Okay, doesn't mean mine is high, yours is low. Please, please, please. I don't want to sound arrogant. It's just the key word here is different. Okay, it was not the energy for me, and my intuition told me, being close to the pyramid, don't go in, don't fall to the pressure, the social pressure that everyone said, everyone is going. And yes, I knew it was not going to be good for me. So very important point for me, the energy you feel in Sedona. The sights is beautiful, everything is great. It's a little bit on the expensive side, but as always, you can find ways to go around that. Maybe don't do lunches, in expensive restaurants every day. That's kind of what we did, that, we went to a nice restaurant once and then basically did, try to go around that, because yes, the town is a little bit on the expensive side. All right, I hope you enjoy it. You don't know about Sedona, I think I gave you a little bit of information. And there are 2 spin-off shows coming Friday and Monday. On Friday is going to be about Bashar. I'm going to go a little bit deeper on that one. And on Monday, I'm also going to go deeper on the UFO show, on basically what was discussed before we put the night goggles and start watching whatever. Something very similar to what you were able to see in the video, all right? So I hope you enjoyed the show. And if everything is okay, I should see you back on Friday. Have a great week. Take care. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover your true self. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and to serve others. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover your true self? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to the universe. Simply ask, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my purpose? You will start getting signs, breakthroughs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about this reality start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering your true self equals to real freedom. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to understand this reality, but you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will set up a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, lust, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only your egoic mind and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.